You're right, babes. No, frankly, no, I'm not. The final episode of the very first season of RuPaul's Drag Race UK has just aired, and I'm all over the place, babes. I'm all over the place. Yes, I know. I've been absolutely awful. I started RuPaul's Drag Race UK and filming my reviews and reactions to it, and I said I was going to do it every week, and here we are, with me missing about 6 weeks. But what can I say? I love making videos for whatever I want to make that week, and sometimes it just got around to it where I just didn't have the time to make the videos for Drag Race. But don't worry, I've been watching every week and enjoying and loving. Bag of Chips is stunning, Bag of Chips is class, Bag of Chips is sexy. She takes it up the... Here we are, the final of RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and I clicked on BBC iPlayer. I was so excited to find out who was going to be the winner of Drag Race UK. Last week we saw Rupaul leave the competition, someone who I think has outdone herself and actually been so great. Considering the amount people underrated her throughout the competition, she showed that she was a great queen, and more than just her and Alyssa Edwards mannerisms, which left us with our top three, aka the Vivienne, Bag of Chips is sexy, Bag of Chips is class, and Miss Davina De Campo. Now, Davina has been my favourite from moment one, so that gives you a gist of who I was rooting for. If you watch my very first episode review of Drag Race UK, then you'll know that after I was like, Davina De Campo, I'm putting my money on this one. And she definitely didn't let me down throughout the competition. I think she's been a force to be reckoned with, and definitely one that I was very excited to see be in the finale of Drag Race. Now, can we just talk about it? Can we just talk about for a second how tight this competition was? Now, looking back again on the very first episode, how I reviewed it, I said, I'm not sure about this whole Blue Peter badge thing. It's a bit rubbish. You know what? I take it all back. I think the Blue Peter badge idea is great. It just reminds you every week who's got the most amount of wins, who hasn't won, in a very physical way. The girls can see it, the audience can see it. I think it's nice, and I think it was perfect that the top three girls all had 3 Rue Peter badges each to show off, which meant the competition was tougher than ever before. You could fully tell that all 3 of these girls were so determined to get that crown, and it meant so much to them. And I think that's what I've loved about this season of Drag Race UK, is that you can really tell how much they all want to win. And God, it was just so much. It was just so much pressure. RuPaul revealed that this week's main challenge would, of course, be a singing, dancing extravaganza, performing their own lyrics, dancing the most crazy, intense, hard dance moves, and of course having to sing and perform live on stage, because that is sort of everything that makes a drag queen, and it's sort of compiled into one challenge to be as tough as possible. And they really did not make it easy for our UK girls at all. We also had our lovely little podcast moment where they joined Michelle Visage, RIP on Strictly last week, Michelle, and of course RuPaul on the What's the Tea podcast. And okay, let me stop for a second. Maybe it's just because I'm biased and I'm from the UK, but honestly, I think this was the best podcast episode that we've had in a long time. For all of our girls here, I could fully understand where they came from, and maybe it's just because I've watched them and related to them so much in the season, possibly more than any other Drag Race season ever. Bag of Chips, talking about her relationship with her mum, was so honest and made perfect sense when she got all of that rather unnecessary hate, I think, and disagreement on the way that she approached her mum. And of course, she's the only one who knows her relationship with her mum, which I think was so fair enough to be talking about and saying, none of you know is my relationship, not anybody else's. Bagger actually showed a lot of heart this episode as a whole, probably more than I've ever seen. She was very humble, very appreciative. Of course, we had Davina as well and her perfectionism, which, I don't know. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. Davina is perfect. Leave my Davina alone. Again, great to see another side to her, talking about the way that the Vivienne's comments affected her. And then, of course, we also had the Vivienne, again, showing a lot more heart, talking about her experience with the drugs. But it wasn't just a rehash. It was definitely, it felt like in more detail the experiences that she had gone through, and I really appreciated that. Likewise to Bagger, I feel like I saw a lot more of a human side to the Viv this episode, and it made me relate to her more. But Davina is still my favourite. I'm sorry. What can I say? She's been my favourite since the start. It's not my fault. So then we came to the main challenge, which featured Curtis and AJ Pritchard. Curtis coming from Love Island, AJ coming from Strictly. They were shady. They were so shady. I'm not sure I appreciated AJ kept going, so, would you like to know what dance you're doing? I'm like, yeah, of course I'd like to know what dance I'm doing. But they were sweet enough. Anyway, I don't really care about them. I care about our queens, and they all did a great job. You could definitely see that Davina was the dancer. I mean, she always talks about how great of a dancer she is, and the Vivian and Bagger did a really great job too, and it was just fun. It was honestly fun. This whole episode I was like, this is so exciting, but also I'm shitting myself. And then it came to the performance, and wow, they were all amazing. But can we talk about how weird it was that Bagger was in gold, whereas Davina and the Vivian were in blue? Was there a reason for that, or was it just the blue outfit didn't come in Bagger's size? That sounded like shade. I did not mean that to sound like shade. Or was it that Bagger needed to be the star moment? Maybe the one, she was like the one in the middle in most shots. Maybe it made sense. I don't know. It looked weird for me, but oh well. Who cares? All three of the queens did so well. I would say that the Vivian's verse was the best for me, I'd say. Bagger had the best comedy, and then Davina had the best dance, of course. It was around this point that I was like, they seem to be suggesting that the Vivian might be winning. I also really enjoyed the Strictly 10. There's been a lot of Strictly BBC Drag Race combinations here. I wonder if we're going to see maybe a drag queen. I mean, Courtney Act was on Dancing in the Stars. It was Dancing in the Stars, right? Yeah, I think she was on Dancing in the Stars in the US. I would like to see one of our Drag Race UK girls on Strictly. I mean, I feel like Davina's done a lot of competitions, so it's probably going to be her. But I would like to see it. And then we had the looks for the main stage. Bagger's was a bit of a disappointment, but she looked beautiful. She looked great. Davina's I was unsure about. I really liked the concept and how she made it very British and how she had the British flag, but I wasn't totally sure on the wig. Just feel like we've seen that red hair a lot, but I know it's her signature, so I'll let her off. And also I love Davina, as I've already said about 100 times. And then, guys, come on, the Vivian absolutely slayed. Her look, she looked incredible. And at that point, I was starting to be like, I wouldn't be too sad if the Vivian won. And then we had the girls also talking about their childhood. I love when they do this, and they're really holding up photos. Can we talk about the fact that Davina's real name is Owen? Collab. Let's collab, Davina. Owen v. Owen. And we also had the girls talking about why they think that they should win over the other queens. And again, this was a moment that I was like, Bagger, you are the sweetest thing ever. The fact that she was very humble and didn't feel like she deserved it. That was so sweet in comparison to the Vivian and Davina literally very subtly being like, Davina was like, I've got all of these skills. And then the Vivian was like, I don't need all of these skills because I have this relatability. And Davina was like giving her some eyes, and I was like, whoo, the tension, the drama. There was so much that got covered this episode as well, because then we had the returning queens come back, and it was just so nice seeing some of them, especially Scaredy Kat, my number one favourite. Remember when I said she would win and that she would be my winner? Didn't happen, but oh well. We had Vinegar, we had Blue, we of course had Crystal, which I think she was completely slept on and deserves to be in an All-Stars if there is a Drag Race UK All-Stars. And it was just so nice. I would say, as a whole series review, Drag Race UK seemed a lot more positive and kind and just a bit more respectful than the US versions of Drag Race. You know, we had our moments of drama and it definitely wasn't boring, completely not. But I don't know, it just seemed less petty than other seasons. Like, all of the queens seemed to really get along with one another. Like, all of the girls looked like they're going to be friends, and it was nice them talking about WhatsApp and Crystal inevitably leaving. The judges also gave their opinions on the final three girls, and I have to say I was a bit sad. I was a bit sad because I was like, they were saying Davina was so full of herself, and from that moment I was like, well, I know who's going to win then, because it's not going to be Bagger, so it's the Vivian. I don't think Davina did come across as full of herself. In fact, I think she came across as someone who felt like no one appreciated how good of a drag queen she was, and so she started to be like, you know what, I need to slap out of it because I am good enough, and I'm going to show these girls that I deserve this place and I deserve to win. And I don't think that's necessarily full of herself. She just saw some sort of growth from the beginning and her struggles then to now. So I disagree, Michelle. I disagree. Michelle was loving the Vivienne, and I don't blame her. I think the Vivienne had a great episode. She definitely left on a high. And looking back at the best moments when they were talking about it, the Vivienne's Donald Trump and her looks, even though Davina had some great ones and some other great moments, I feel like they were the best bits of the season. They were like the bits that I'm going to remember. And I feel like people talked about the most. Apart from bag of chips is stunning, bag of chips is class. Towards the end, I had never felt more nervous because I just think all three of these queens deserved it so much. And we had the final lip sync between Vivienne and Davina. And you know what? I think they both gave it. I think it was my favourite lip sync from this season. I feel like they were both on point, on cue, made it funny, made it enjoyable, made it epic, and I was sat there like, God, the Vivienne's gonna win, and she did. She won. I don't mean to sound shady. I think the Vivienne did an amazing job this season. I think she was the most polished, the most perfected, and I think probably the most deserved throughout the season to win. I think everyone has a personal connection to Davina. I was scrolling through the tweets and the Instagrams, and everyone was sad to see that she didn't win. But you know what they say? Second place ends up being just as good, if not better than first place. I mean, Adore Delano, Katya, some of our best drag queens, and actually most successful drag queens didn't win Drag Race. So I think Davina should be super proud of herself, and I think all of them should be, and congratulations to the Vivienne. So as I said, I really enjoyed this season of Drag Race UK. I think it was a massive success. I think they managed to pull the great structure and entertainment from the US version of Drag Race, combine it with something unique that you get from UK drag queens, and the comedy and personality and culture of the UK, and combine it to make an epic season of Drag Race UK. And I have to say, I think that there's going to definitely be more. I mean, auditions are already open for season 2, and maybe I'll consider auditioning. I'm joking. I would go out first. Probably wouldn't even get on. Oh. I really hope you enjoyed this finale episode of Drag Race UK, and I really hope you enjoyed the season, and thank you so much for watching my videos with me. If you enjoyed them, then give it a thumbs up, and subscribe down below if you would like to see more from me. I would really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed these videos, just because it's nice to talk about Drag Race. I used to, like I said from the start, I used to watch it with my best friends, and now that they are no longer with me all the time, it's nice to air out my thoughts, and I hope you all enjoyed. Please subscribe if you also want to see music, more TV shows. Let me know in the comments what else you want me to do. Films, I just did a Frozen 2 review. And yeah, you're right, babes. No, because Drag Race UK is over. Bye.